Welcome back, everyone. Today we bought another Jeep. Got a 2015 Jeep Wrangler, and it's an Oscar Mike edition. Doesn't look too bad from here, but let's go check out what the real damage is. So we can see that there. This gap is way big. Door doesn't close, and all that was some damage here. But let's check out the primary damage and the reason why we got it so cheap. It looks like it hit a tree, a telephone pole, something. But this frame, that, if you look right there, I mean, there's no way to fix that. So, and we bought this expecting to replace the whole frame on it. Let's check this out. Alright, well, that's surprising. We've had them with smaller hits and it rips these tabs right out, but for some reason these are intact. I'm guessing the radiator's busted since it got hit. We got oil. Let's see if it'll start up. Alright. Engine sounds healthy, so that's always a big plus. Check out this interior. Since this is an Oscar Mike edition, has these stars all over the place, has the Jeep embroidered on the side of the seats. So I think we're going to keep these, we're not going to replace them because we're planning to do another custom build, not quite like the white one that we had, but it's going to be different, but it's still going to be a custom. So, but we're going to keep the seats, we like those. And it looks like it was sitting at the auction pretty long because, I mean, it's starting to get a little bit of growth and stuff there. And I'm guessing it's been sitting there for a while because it has two Copart stickers on it. Because one of them is already burnt out. And the other thing that I'm looking at here, I don't know how that happened there. But, I mean, you got the windshield frame on two ends there. I'm going to have to replace that too. Luckily, this windshield frame, it's not welded on, it's just bolted on there on the hinges, on this one hinge. So it's pretty easy replacement once we get a new one. The top is all in good shape. It's not cracked or chipped anywhere, so that's always a big plus. Those are quite spendy. So, got some Rubicon rock sliders on there, and then for some reason they put these there too, but those are gonna go away. Oh, and check this out. I just noticed all these rims are being held on by one lug nut, and that's it. So I'm guessing the previous owner had some kind of wheels on there or something, and they just replaced them real quick, just threw one lug nut on there and sent it off to the auction. Got a lot of bird poop on there, probably standing under a tree or something. Alright, pretty clean. Oh, got a little roach there, but we'll get rid of him. Alright guys, so, I mean, that looks pretty scary, pretty intimidating, but like always, we're just going to give it a try and see what happens. But the plan is that we actually found a parts car locally here at the local Copart auction, so it's playing tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to play for it. Hopefully we can get it really cheap because the frame, the last one that we bought, it was about $1,200, and now they went up to $2,600, so it's double. Plus the axle is unknown, that's kind of spendy. So we're going to try buying that parts car, and hopefully we can get it, and that will help us out and speed up the process. Alright guys, like we said before, we're going to try buying a parts car. The only thing that we really needed was the frame itself, and we played for a couple of parts cars, and they were just going for way too much money. So we decided to just fix this as is, because we are going to be building a custom Jeep, and there's not too many factory parts that we would take off of it besides the frame. So let's first, we got to jack up this Jeep and put on at least a couple more lug nuts on there because they came from the auction with just one lug nut, and we don't want to mess up all these studs. So what we're going to do is put a couple more lug nuts on there, so there's at least 3 on each wheel, and then we're going to get it up on the lift to take a look underneath. So we got the car up on the lift. As you can already tell, this thing got hit pretty hard. Most likely hit a pole, a tree, something. But it got hit pretty hard. Like we can see this cross member right here. This is supposed to go straight along here, and it's all the way back here. These rail ends right here, those are almost 90 degrees turned over. Both of them are kind of folded in like that. So we already knew that. It's part of it. I can see that this link got broken off from that's why this axle is sitting at an angle. Our biggest concern right now is going to be the axle itself, whether it got hit or if it got bent. If it did, these can get quite spendy, even just buying a housing. So hopefully it's going to be straight and okay. Some of the pluses that we have is that the drive shaft didn't get torn off. A lot of the times that these Jeeps get into an accident, this gets torn off, it's spinning, and it'll hit the upper oil pan and crack this, and then you got a lot of work to do. But actually you can see that the lower oil pan did get hit. It's got a dent and some scratches. It kind of went like that. You can see some scratches there, but that's no big deal. You can change that out pretty easily. Our next biggest concern is going to be to measure out this frame to see whether it did a diamond. Basically, if it shifted like this, or in any direction, if it shifted like this, then we're going to have to straighten that out, because we were not, unfortunately, able to buy a parts car. So what we're going to do most likely is, once we get this taken apart, you'll see that there's a place where the front extensions get welded in, that you can replace just the front extensions. Well, actually you can see it right here, and it's the same on the other side. So if we don't have a bad diamond on here, if it's straight or if it's a tiny diamond, we can straighten that out and we can just replace the ends. If it's a pretty bad diamond, we're going to wind up having to replace the whole frame on this car. But looking forward, also, all these, when they get into an accident, right there, this bracket where the motor mount is, the whole engine shifts and goes forward, and it made a hole in the catalytic converter. So we're going to have to replace that one. And this one looks like it just dented the shield. So luckily it's only one that got damaged. Sometimes both of them get damaged, and those get expensive too. Otherwise, looking down the rest of it, everything looks pretty normal, but we got to measure this frame out. That's the most important thing that we got to do right now. Standard forklift at the auction, all the shocks, but that's no big deal. We're going to be replacing those anyway. Rear axle doesn't seem to be hurt. Surprisingly, usually these are pretty rusty or like black looking, pitted, and it's just like that on the inside, but the outside is nice and clean. Not a big deal, but still kind of interesting. Alright guys, so right now what the plan is we got to strip this Jeep. It's going to be a custom Jeep. That way, you guys will see, the whole thing is going to get stripped. So we got to get as many parts off of it as possible before we actually need the frame. The bumper, to get this off, most likely we're going to need to have it on the frame to be able to pull this out to get to the bolt so we can get this off. But let's get this Jeep down, start taking parts off. Alright guys, so we got a majority of this Wrangler taken apart. We want to, this engine started up, but we want to make sure that it's not damaged or anything like that. So we got the whole front end cut off because, as you can see, that's kinked really bad. That's beyond fixable. But the engine is in good condition. The only thing that got broken is this thermostat housing there, but that's not a big deal. As long as the engine itself, the metal, didn't get touched, everything's in one piece, so that's good. One of the other things that when we got the Wrangler, the steering wheel was just spinning freely. And basically, this is what happened there, is the sleeve for the steering, it got ripped on the weakest point, which is the sleeve. The other thing, the suspension, luckily looks like it's in good condition. It doesn't look like the accident went that far. So basically all this stuff is trash right here. This is the whole front end. Instead of trying to pull that out to get the bolts out and everything, we're replacing these front extensions anyway. So we just decided to make it easy and just cut it off because we're going to be taking them out anyway. All the cooling is no good. These flares are going in the trash because we're going to do some metal flares. Same with the grill, the hood, all that stuff. We're going to be doing a custom build, so all this stuff is going to be no good. We also got to take off these running boards because for some reason they had two. They had these, and then they had like these Rubicon rock sliders on there. I don't know why, but they did. But we got to get those off in order to get to the bolts for the fenders. But that's going to be in the next episode. We're coming to a wrap on this one. So if you're new to the channel, you just found us, don't forget to subscribe, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss the next episode. We're going to continue disassembling this even more, get it completely stripped down, and so we can get to repairing it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.